Hey guys, so we have the details here for the EZA for STR transforming cooler. Probably one of the most anticipated EZAs, I would say probably ever. Ever since they announced that the theme for this worldwide celebration was going to be cooler, everybody was asking for this guy's EZA, and it only makes sense for them sort of to cap off the celebration with the EZA for the character. Everybody wanted to get one. So this is a part of the producer's letter for September. I've actually really liked that they started to do this more for the game. It's kind of like Legends has done this as well. And I just think the open form of communication is better than them not saying anything at all, because historically this game has had a very bad track record of communicating with the player base. So them doing this, I think, is a very, very good thing. Okay, so this also talks about stuff related to part 3 of the celebration other than the cooler EZA. This is actually stuff that we already had access to in the V-Jump scans. And I guess this is also a way that they can sort of give global, sort of like what V-Jump is giving JP, because obviously when the celebration is related to both versions at the same time, and JP gets advanced information about part 3 thanks to V-Jump, Global's not going to get that in advance. So them doing this is a good way to sort of bridge that gap there. So we're going to get new stages added to the Fighting Spirit of the Saiyans and Wicked Bloodline event here. Talks about the enemies can raise their attack and activate various skills, making this quite a difficult challenge. Then talk about a unique title that you can get for this. Looks pretty cool, but I mean, other than aesthetics, I don't really think it actually is going to do anything. All right, let's take a look at Cooler himself. This is all right. So Extreme Ultimate Power Cooler can be Extreme Z Awakened. Here is the latest information on the abilities of Extreme Ultimate Power Cooler, who can be Extreme Z Awakened in part 3 of the campaign. Keep in mind that V-Jump also confirmed that Thouser, Cooler's Armored Squadron, the physical character that actually released alongside this STR Cooler on his banner, they are also getting an EZA, and that's why it says Extreme Z Awakened 2 characters on the banner image here. This post does not have the information for them, but they are also getting an EZA soon, so, or an EZA with this cooler, so keep that in mind. All right, so leader skill, Terrifying Conquerors or Transformation Boost category key +3, HP attack and defense 170%. I actually think this can be one of the best leader skills in the game, even though it's not even a 200% boost. We'll come back to this after we reread the passive. Okay, so passive. Attack and defense plus 130%, so this actually goes up from 100% to 130%. Launches an additional attack that has a medium chance of becoming a super attack when the target enemy is in attack down or defense down status. So when you're talking about difficult content, obviously this is not really going to pertain to a lot of the red zone stages. It's not really going to pertain to a lot of the like Infinite Dragon Ball History stages, the Legendary Goku Vegeta event, because a lot of those bosses are immune to having their attack and defense lowered. There are a few fights where like the first phase might be able to have attack or defense lowered. Like I know for the Omega Shenron fight, you can actually stun and seal him and stuff like that, and you could debuff him. So like this cooler actually will be able to activate the additional attack against the first phase of that fight, which could be good. That actually could make a difference. Transformation Boost category allies key +2, attack and defense plus 50% when facing only one enemy. And Terrifying Conquerors category allies key +2 and attack and defense plus 50% when facing 2 or more enemies. So if we take a look at the pre-EZA version here, he was giving 30% attack and defense to Transformation Boost allies when there's facing one enemy. So this, what they actually did here is they bumped up his support from 30% to 50% at all times. So if there's one enemy, he's giving a 50%. This is the same buff, right? He's giving 2 key and 50% attack and defense, no matter if there's one enemy or 2 enemies. The only difference is that if there's one enemy, he's buffing Transformation Boost. If there's multiple enemies, he's buffing Terrifying Conquerors. Now, the only thing to note about this specific buff is it's unfortunate because Metal Cooler is not in the Transformation Boost category, which is the reason why he's not on the 200% leader skill for the STR cooler, the LR STR cooler. So I feel like this guy was definitely more so designed with the LR STR final form cooler in mind than Metal Cooler. Because if you're running Metal Cooler, right? And let's say you're going into pretty much any red zone stage. For 90%, 95% even of those difficult stages, you're not fighting multiple enemies. So I would say you're going to be seeing this transformation boost support buff active 95% of the time, and this Terrifying Conquerors buff will only be active like 5% of the time. Now, obviously, this will be active in like Super Battle Road and stuff like that, but for the real difficult content like Cell Max, Red Zone, transformation boost, 50% attack and defense 2 key is what you're going to be seeing from this cooler. And so, unfortunately, for whatever reason, they decided not to put Metal Cooler in the transformation boost category. So that actually, I think, does hurt him a lot, because I think what they were doing is they were building up the Wicked Bloodline team. And honestly, just Cooler's 200% leader skill, the movie bosses, Terrifying Conquerors team, to be tied together with this STR Cooler sort of being like the final piece to the puzzle. And so the fact that Metal Cooler doesn't really get affected by the transformation boost passive, the support passive, it definitely does. It just sucks. It definitely does suck for Metal Cooler. But this is really gonna help pretty much every other unit on the team. Janemba, LR Cooler himself. You have characters like LR Golden Frieza who are gonna benefit a lot from this as well. So this is gonna be an insane buff for pretty much every character on the team except for Metal Cooler. And then we go to the super attack effect. So the super attack is the Destructive Ray Extreme, raises defense. So he actually is getting stacking defense. He can infinitely stack his defense here. Causes immense damage to the enemy and lowers attack and defense. So this first portion of the passive, where he gets the additional attack that has a medium chance of becoming a super attack when the target enemy is in attack and or defense down status. In those difficult stages where I just talked about, like the first phase can sometimes be debuffed, you probably want to prioritize having this guy potentially get this additional super attack so that he can stack his defense up. So if you're fighting like Omega Shenron in the red zone, you probably want to leave this guy on rotation, at least for the first few rotations, to potentially get the additional super attack to get multiple stacks of defense in, because later on that's definitely gonna help you out. So the fact that this guy's stacking defense is a really, really powerful thing. I don't think it's gonna make him good enough to be just sitting in slot 1 all the time. I think he could be a decent slot 2 option, but at the end of the day, with him being in the pre-transform state here, he's probably going to end up being a floater, which is fine. I mean, he's still going to be stacking defense even in slot 3, so he should be looking pretty good there. And once he transforms, the super attack effect is raises attack, immense damage, and massively lowers defense. Obviously not a very big difference than what he already did, because he was already infinitely stacking attack prior to his EZA, so this doesn't change that much. Well, I mean, it's pretty powerful, because remember, he's keeping the stacked defense in his post-transformation state that he stacked up prior to transformation. It's kind of like LR AGL Gohan, right? LR AGL Gohan is stacking pre-transformation. Then once he transforms, he's able to keep that stacked defense. And same thing with the 7th year LRs, right? They stack defense pre-transformation, they transform, they're keeping that stacked defense post-transformation. All right, so passive skill after transformation. Key +4, attack and defense +200%. Launches 2 additional attacks, each of which has a medium chance of becoming a super attack, chance of performing a critical hit +10% per rainbow keys you're obtained, and then performs a critical hit when there is a Pure Saiyan or Hybrid Saiyan category enemy. So the main thing to note about the post-transformed version of this character, let me actually pull up the pre-EZA. So he's getting 1 extra key and an extra 20% attack and defense at the start of the turn. So the thing with this cooler is he's getting now, what, 4 key at the start of the turn? So he's going to be starting the turn at 10 key, which means he's only going to need 2 key to actually super, which basically means he's going to be starting at 12 key, basically, because I assume you're probably going to have Strongest Clan in Space active most of the time. So he doesn't need any key to super at all, which is pretty nice. He's getting an extra 20% attack and defense, and he only launched 1 additional attack prior to his EZA. Now he's launching 2. That's pretty insane. That I didn't know if they would actually do that or not, but that is a really that is a very sizable buff to STR Cooler here, because remember, he's stacking attack every single attack, and he's doing a guaranteed crit against pure Hybrid Saiyans. Now, obviously, I would say the hardest, like 20 to 25 stages in the game are probably all extreme class enemies. So this cooler is not going to be as good against extreme class enemies as he would be against obviously super class enemies because of this buff right here. But in the future, we're obviously going to be getting difficult stages featuring super class enemies. And this is a similar situation, I think, that we have for like LF, or not LF, for LR AGL full power Frieza, who is getting the extra key and stats versus super class enemies, right? He's obviously going to look way better and perform way better versus super class enemies. But it's just just unfortunate that right now the environment of the game pretty much only has extreme class enemies in the difficult stages. So he will definitely be much better, I think, later on with his post-transform state. But honestly, even against just extreme class enemies, when he's not doing guaranteed crits, like he's still doing a max of 4 attacks per turn, because you're getting the normal attack, then you're getting the 2 additionals from the passive, and then you can get the hidden potential additional. And you should be giving this guy full additional, so he's pretty much, I would say, most of the time getting 4 attacks, each of which could be supers, each of which are going to be infinitely stacking your attack. And then he still can crit against, obviously, extreme class enemies with the 10% chance to crit per Rainbow Key Sphere. So he's looking pretty strong. And then not to mention, he's also, with his stats, I think somebody posted the wiki doesn't have the post EZA stats up here yet, but he's going to be at like 21,000, I think it was like 600 attack or something, and over 11,000 defense with his EZA stats, which is pretty good. I think what was defense? I don't remember what his defense was. I just remember seeing his attack and I was like, what the hell? His attack is like actually the highest like TUR attack in the game or something. I don't remember I think his defense was like 11.6 or something like that. It was okay. But yeah, this post transform cooler should be looking pretty good. And it's funny because I think when most people were sort of picturing in their head what this EZA was going to look like, no one even really considered the post transformed version of this character. They're all talking about this guy because he's supporting, and you know, people want to use like the new hype characters, LF, or I keep saying LF, LR Final Form Cooler, LR Metal Cooler, LR Janemba. Like they want, like you're thinking about how this guy's going to help the core characters on the LR Final Form Coolers team. So most people were pretty much just focusing on the pre-transform version of this guy, but looking at this, I feel like this post-transform version of Cooler can be actually just ridiculous. But yeah, I think they designed this guy to be pretty... I don't really see any glaring issues here. There's obviously going to be people out there that are disappointed with this, and I think those people probably would have been disappointed no matter what they did here. I mean, you could hope for like damage reduction or a scout or some like ridiculous effect in here, which, I mean, yeah, it would have been nice to have that, but I will take the infinite stacking defense. I will take at all times 50% support and 2 key to the whole rotation. That's going to make a massive difference. Don't forget that we are also going to be getting the new support memory for Wicked Bloodline that's associated. I think you have to clear all the Wicked Bloodline red zone stages, and you'll be able to grab that new support memory, which is a permanent 10% buff to all Wicked Bloodline characters. And then I think it's all Cooler category allies gain an extra 1 key for, I think it's 7 turns. So a very, very strong support memory, a very, very strong EZA with this STR Cooler. The team's going to be looking pretty absurd. The only complaint that I have, it's not even related to this unit. It's that Metal Cooler is not on transformation boost, so he's not going to be getting anything from the support here, unless you're fighting multiple enemies, because he isn't Terrifying Conquerors. So, and then on top of that, we can take a look at the links real quick. So this STR Cooler, obviously, when he was first released, the I guess